Trinomial. This is the second part of factoring trinomial, and we're going to discuss today the option where you have a is not equal to 1. And we're going to use a method called factoring by grouping. So if I have this example, 6x squared plus 11x plus 4, you notice the coefficient is not anymore 1. They're pretty simple steps. First, you have to label the numbers in front of the coefficient, so it goes by A, B, and C. The first step to factor this trinomial is to multiply the first A times C. 6 times 4 gives you a 24. Now, think of two numbers. The multiplication is 24, so we have options like 24 times 1, 12 times 2, 8 times 3, 6 times 4. And that leads us to the next step, which is which would of these add up, because this is a plus, to give you 11? Well, obviously it's 8 plus 3. So the next step will break down the 11 to its two numbers 8 and 3. So we're going to break down the 11 to 8x and 3x. The next step is to bring down the first and the last terms. So now we have 4 terms instead of 3, but we just broke down the 11 to 8 and 3. Now the next step is to factor the greatest common factor between the first binomial and the second binomial. In other words, what is common between the first two terms? Well, you can tell between the numbers there's a 2, and between the x squared and the x, like we learned before, the common factor is x. So if I take 2x from the 6x squared, what left is 3x. If I take 2x from the 8x, what left is just 4. Now in this second binomial, I just take the positive sign and I put parentheses because this one has parentheses, and you're going to see this, the purpose of this for the next step. Now you notice they both have 3x plus 4. That means this is my greatest common factor, the new one. So I'm going to take this out. And what left is, on the first term is 2x, and the second term, if I take this one out, what left is just 1. So this is my final answer. Now to double check it, you don't have to do this, but we're going to multiply like we learned before. 3x times 2x, well, it's 6x squared, so we got the first term. 3x times 1, 3x. 4 times 2, 8x. 4 times 1 is 4. Now you notice we went back to this, right? 3 and 8, that is 11. So this is checks. We went back to the original trinomial. So this is my answer when it comes to factors. The next example will go a little faster. If I have 5x squared plus 13x minus 6, the first step we said we multiply 5 times 6. That's a 30. So what are the two options we have? 30 times 1, 15 times 2, 10 times 3, or 6 times 5. Now which one of these two numbers subtract to give you 13? Well, it's obvious that it is 15 and 2. So the next step would be break it down to 13 to 15 minus 2. Now bring down the first and the last term. Now the first binomial, the common factor between them is just 5x, and what's left is x plus 3. And the next binomial, the common factor is 2, so you're going to take the negative 2 out, and what left is x plus 3. We should have learned this before. You learned it before in factoring the common factor. Now what's new is we have x plus 3 in this one, x plus 3 in this one, so we factor out the x plus 3, so what left is 5x minus 2. So this is how we factor by grouping. We multiply the first and the last, break down the middle, take the greatest common factor once, take the greatest common factor again, and you end up with 2 binomials multiplied. You can double check by multiplying like we learned before. Hopefully that helps. Go ahead and do the practice right now. Thanks for watching.